He dominated the ring. He terrorized legends. And for years, the Hitman lived at the very top of boxing's food chain. But today, fans ask a different question. Where does a legend like Thomas Hearns live after the cameras fade? In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the real life of the Hitman. From his little-known lifestyle, to the mansion he calls home, the cars he once rolled in, and the personal journey that forged the man behind the gloves. So, stick around, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because once you see how Thomas Hearns really lives, you'll never look at his career the same way again. Thomas Hearns wasn't born into luxury. He was born on October 18th, 1958, in Grand Junction, Tennessee, one of 9 children in a family held together by a single mother's strength. Before the world knew him as the Hitman, life hit him first. When he was just 5 years old, his mother packed up her children and moved north to Detroit, Michigan, a city built on grit, factories, and survival. It was there, in the heart of the Motor City, that a tall, skinny kid with unusually long arms began shaping one of the most dangerous right hands boxing would ever see. By the time he stepped into the amateur ranks, he wasn't just talented, he was relentless. An amateur record of 155 wins against only 8 losses told the story early. In 1977, he captured both the National AAU Light Welterweight Championship and a National Golden Gloves title, announcing himself as a future force. But raw talent wasn't enough. Under the legendary trainer Emanuel Steward, he was transformed. The light-hitting amateur became a knockout artist. Speed met precision. Reach met violence. And soon, the boxing world realized this wasn't just another contender. This was something different. They called him the Motor City Cobra, calm, patient, and deadly. Then came a name that would echo through boxing history, the Hitman. But the belts weren't the only thing Hearns collected. At the height of his career, he earned over $40 million for boxing, back when fighters weren't supposed to make money like that. Massive purses, record-breaking super fights, a lifestyle built for a superstar. So, the question is, how did he live when the money was flowing? Stepping into Hearns' world meant stepping into Detroit royalty. Just outside the city, in Southfield, Michigan, stood the home fans came to know as the Punch Palace. It wasn't a flashy Hollywood estate built for headlines. It was something more personal. Pulling into the wide driveway, the house made its statement quietly. Spacious grounds, a large frontage built for privacy. Inside, the rooms told the story of a champion's life. Classic living spaces designed for comfort. Walls lined with championship belts and framed photographs. A private home theater where Hearns could replay the nights he ruled the ring. But the lifestyle didn't stop at the front door. On the streets, Hearns rolled like a true Motor City king. Long before social media flexing, his presence was announced by classic American luxury. Cadillacs with long hoods, chrome grills, and plush leather interiors gliding through Detroit streets. Lincoln Continentals built for smooth, powerful cruising, quiet, commanding, and unmistakably elite. These weren't just cars. They were symbols of success in a city that built them. As Hearns' career climbed to global heights, his garage evolved with him. Sleek Mercedes-Benz S-Class sedans, status symbols of international wealth and executive power. BMW 7 Series models blending precision engineering with refined luxury, mirroring Hearns' evolution from raw knockout artist to seasoned champion. And when he wanted something that matched the violence of his right hand, he turned to pure American muscle. Low-slung Chevrolet Corvettes, aggressive in stance, fast in spirit. A lifestyle built for a superstar. But none of it came by accident. Hearing everything the hard way. Turning professional in 1977, under the guidance of Emanuel Steward at Detroit's legendary Kronk Gym, Thomas Hearns transformed from a skilled amateur into a weapon. The long arms, the reach, the speed, it all came together around one thing: a right hand that ended fights early. From the very beginning, he made a statement. 17 opponents fell in a row. 17 knockouts. No decisions. No mercy. By 1980, his record was perfect, 28-0. And he wasn't just winning fights. He was terrifying anyone who stepped in the ring with him. That year, he faced Mexico's Jose Cuevas, the reigning WBA welterweight champion who had dominated his division for 4 years. But Hearns was on another level. 2 rounds, a devastating TKO. The crown changed hands, and the world knew a new king had emerged. Ring Magazine named him Fighter of the Year, and the Motor City Cobra began his ascent toward boxing immortality. In 1981, he stepped into the spotlight for one of boxing's most iconic nights, the showdown with Sugar Ray Leonard. Hearns, undefeated at 32-0 with 30 knockouts, was the WBA champion. Leonard, the WBC champion, was boxing royalty. 2 champions, 1 belt, 1 night that stopped the sport. For 13 rounds, Hearns was near perfection, outboxing, outjabbing, and outscoring Leonard. But greatness demanded drama. By the 14th round, Leonard, needing a knockout to claim victory, stormed forward. Exhausted and trapped against the ropes, Hearns was stopped. It was his first professional defeat, a crushing blow, yet one that forged even greater determination. The fight also shattered financial records, with a combined $17 million purse, cementing Hearns' status as one of the sport's wealthiest and most marketable stars. Reinvention became Hearns' hallmark. Moving up to 154 pounds, he captured the WBC Super Welterweight title from Wilfred Benitez in December 1982, defending it against the era's top challengers. Then came the fight that would define his legacy, Roberto Duran. Duran, a living legend, had never been stopped. Hearns changed that in just 2 rounds, delivering the first knockout of Duran's storied career. Ring Magazine honored Hearns with his second Fighter of the Year award in 1984, recognizing his devastating power and his ability to dominate across weight classes. In 1985, he challenged the undisputed middleweight champion Marvin Hagler in a fight now known simply as The War. 3 rounds of unrelenting violence, considered among the greatest in boxing history, tested every ounce of Hearns' skill and heart. He stunned Hagler early, even opening a deep cut over Hagler's eye, but a broken right hand slowed him. In the 3rd round, a crushing right from Hagler sent him to the canvas. Though he beat the count, the referee stopped the fight. A loss, but one that elevated both men into legend. He bounced back swiftly, claiming titles at light heavyweight and middleweight, defeating rising stars and cementing his reputation as one of boxing's most versatile champions. By 1988, he had captured the inaugural WBO super middleweight title, becoming the first boxer in history to win championships in 5 different weight divisions. A rematch with Leonard in 1989 saw Hearns knock him down twice, though the fight ended in a controversial draw, leaving fans debating the outcome for decades. Even in the 1990s, he continued to impress, outboxing undefeated Virgil Hill in 1991 to win his 6th major title. He later claimed the IBO Cruiserweight Championship, extending his career into the late 1990s and early 2000s before stepping away from the ring in 2006. 6 major titles, 5 weight divisions, knockouts that stun the world, battles with legends. Every mansion, every luxury car, every dollar earned outside the ring was built punch by punch, round by round. He didn't just fight for belts. He built an empire, a life, and a legacy that transcended boxing. And now that we've seen the glitz and the glamour, the punch palace and the Corvettes, it's time to look at the man behind the legend. The personal life that shaped him, the family he loves, and the lessons learned when the spotlight dimmed. His life outside the ring has always been rooted in family. Thomas Hearns is married to former model Renee Hearns, and together they raised their son, Ronald Hearns, who followed in his father's footsteps as a professional boxer. He fought in the middleweight division and built a respectable career, though he never reached the same legendary heights as his father. Beyond his immediate family, Hearns remained close to his extended relatives, often supporting them throughout his career. His mother, Lois Hearns, continued to be a key figure in the boxing world, running Hearns Entertainment, promoting events, and ensuring the family name stays prominent in the sport. But boxing money, no matter how massive, doesn't always last forever. Despite earning tens of millions of dollars at his peak, Hearns faced financial struggles later in life. Poor financial planning, combined with extreme generosity toward his large, extended family, slowly chipped away at the fortune he once built. In 2010, the reality became public. He was forced to auction off personal possessions, painful symbols of a life once lived at full throttle. A 1957 Chevrolet classic car rich with history. A 47-foot fountain speedboat, once a symbol of freedom and success. Even rare memorabilia from his legendary career had to go. On top of it all, he owed the IRS approximately $250,000. Unlike many athletes, he didn't deny it. He didn't hide. He took full responsibility, explaining that much of the debt came from helping family members over the years, choosing loyalty over long-term financial security. It was a hard lesson learned in public, but it revealed the man behind the gloves. Even as the money faded, something else remained untouched. The respect, the legacy, and the name that still echoes through boxing history. He may have lost some of the material symbols of his success, but the impact of his career, the love of his family, and the admiration of fans worldwide remain as strong as ever. As the cheers faded and the spotlights dimmed, Thomas Hearns transitioned from a life of knockouts and championship belts to one defined by impact beyond the ring. Retirement didn't mean disappearing. For him, it meant returning to the city that shaped him and using his experience to build something more lasting than money or trophies, a legacy of mentorship, community, and inspiration. He has devoted much of his post-boxing life to mentoring the next generation of fighters. In Detroit gyms, he shares not only techniques, but lessons in discipline, resilience, and the mental toughness needed to survive both in and out of the ring. Young boxers look up to him not just as a champion, but as a living example of what relentless work and determination can achieve. His commitment to Detroit doesn't stop at the gym. He has become a visible force in community initiatives, participating in charity boxing events, autograph sessions, and public appearances that raise funds for local programs. He has auctioned memorabilia to support youth initiatives, blending necessity with giving back, a tangible way to ensure his legacy helps others. Through these efforts, he has become more than a hometown hero. Life in retirement has been modest, but meaningful. The Punch Palace remains his base, a home that anchors him in Detroit, surrounded by the city and the people he cares about most. The story of Thomas Hearns in retirement is as instructive as his time in the ring. It highlights the risks of financial mismanagement, the reality that fame and fortune can be fleeting, and the enduring value of character and contribution. While wealth may diminish, the respect earned through courage, generosity, and mentorship continues to grow. His journey from Motor City streets to global fame, and finally to a life of giving back, shows that true legacy isn't bought. It's earned through both triumph and humility. If you love this deep dive, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and make sure you're subscribed for even more inside looks into boxing's biggest names. And while you're here, check out our full breakdown of Terence Crawford's journey. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you ringside in the next one.